all of the gay and lesbian kids out there tonight who have been told that they are less than by their churches or by the government or by their families, that you are beautiful, wonderful creatures of value, and that no matter what anyone tells you, God does love you, and that very soon, I promise you, you will have equal rights federally across this great nation of ours. And my mom opens the front door and comes in, and there are all my friends, and they have made salad and pasta. And she walks in, and I'll admit something to you, I absolutely copped out. I never, ever told my friends that my mom had any problem with me. But I also never told my mom that so many of my friends now were gay and lesbian. So she comes in, they start serving her salads and pastas. I head to the kitchen and act really busy. And then I watch them start to come over and talk with her, one by one. And I realize that because I've said nothing, they assume that my mom, my good old Texas mom, loves gay and lesbian people. Yeah. And so they start, and this is before Ellen or Will and Grace, so she's a goddamn Texas saint, right? So they start telling her the stories of their coming out, the rejection of their families, not even being able to go home for Christmas. And that's going so well because my mom can nod you to death. And before I know it, it's going so well, they start talking about their personal lives, their dating lives, and their sex lives. And of course, one by one, my friends have their lives, so they're going their separate way. They're going away. They're going home. My roommate, of course, headed to his room because he knew what was coming. And before I knew it, it was just me and my mom. And she just did that thing that moms do. She patted the couch next to her, and she said, come here, sit down. We should talk. I said, okay. She said, I met your friends. I said, yes, I like them. I met one in particular. He's a 22-year-old grad student. I said, yes, I know him. And she said, well, I had a long talk with him in particular, and I did tell him that I think that he ought to start treating my baby boy a bit better, and that the next time he takes you to dinner, he ought to pay. I absolutely lit up inside. I had this feeling in me I'd never had in my entire life as my mom wrapped her arms around me and held me tight. And I can't tell you the feeling of liberation and hope that I felt. Because for the first time in my life, I knew that my mom loved me for me. And how did that happen? How did that happen? Because she heard the stories, she heard the voices of actual gay and lesbian people. And those stories, those personal stories, they dispelled all the myths and the lies and the stereotypes that she'd heard about gay and lesbian people for generations, growing up in the South, growing up in the military, growing up in the Mormon church. They were gone in one night because of the power of their voices, the power of their stories. And I thought, my God, if that's the power of our stories, well, that's what I'm going to do. The way to change minds is to tell your own personal story, to share your voice, isn't it? That's what I need you to do. Because if we can show the U.S. Supreme Court that we are making progress in Texas, if we can change minds in Texas, we can change this state and we can change this country. That U.S. Supreme Court never wants to be behind the arc of history ever again. They've seen that dark day, and you've got to show them the way to the future, Texas. So I need you to get out there, starting tonight, starting tomorrow, and tell your personal story. Tell it to everyone. Not just the people who it's easy to tell. Call that family member who you're afraid to tell. Talk to your coworker. Talk to your neighbor. Tell them your personal story from your heart, not a speech, not politics. Tell them about who you are. And yeah, you know what? I know it is risky and it can be dangerous, but we need your bravery. Because with your bravery, you can change hearts. And if you can change hearts, you can change Dallas. If you can change Dallas, you can change Texas. And if you change Texas, I guarantee you, you will change this great nation.